Right, welcome to day two, and things are about to get very interesting. So, in day one, we covered stuff concerning the overview of UI UX, and then we looked into the core elements, or let's say the core tools and features that you'll be needing as concerns Figma. Okay, so this is day two, and now we are going to start designing. Okay, so for today's class, we'll be having be designing onboarding screens. Okay, so there are three screens in total for us to design today. Okay, so but I will break them into three videos so you can watch each and practice each of them at a succession, that kind of thing. Okay, so instead of it being a long video, just divide it into three, so you have each of the screen on one video. Okay, so as I said, we are designing onboarding screens, and we have three of them for this particular day. Okay, so we'll be getting into it in a moment. So I'm already in the beautiful world of Figma. Okay, in the previous video we talked about how you can create a new file, so you can still use the same file you created in the last video for this particular tutorial. It doesn't matter, just create a new frame and then you follow through with every single step that I walk you through. Okay, so that one is very simple. Might look quite overwhelming at first, but just once you can follow the instructions and the guide, you'll be very fine. Okay, so get into it right now. So I'll start with the first screen on the list for this for today. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have three screens. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. So we start from the first one here. So this is where you use the come around, and then they can click to log into the account or to create a new account. And then the second one is where you log in. This is the login screen. And the second one is a create new account screen, like a register screen. Okay, so we start from the first one, then we do the second one, and then the third one. Okay, oh, that's fine to make it easier for you. So let's start with the first one now. Okay, so the first thing, of course, you want to do when in the world of Figma, okay, is for you to create a frame where you will design inside. I think we definitely cover that in the first video. I don't need to go back into that. Okay, so create a frame, shortcut F on your keyboard, and then you see options. So I'll be using the frame of iPhone 13, 14 here. So that's the dimension is 390 by 844. You can just enter it by yourself, but you can just click it right now. Okay, so and then put it down here. You can just scroll up whenever I want. All right, so let's call these just at the top here. Just double click, and then I can type onboarding screen 1. Okay, so we have the onboarding screen already. So now let's get into the design now. So let's look at what we have on the design. So basically, I'm not going into the details of what the design, why the design was made this way, just for us to replicate and then get familiar with the tools and features of Figma. That's the whole essence of this entire series. Okay, this is not just trying to debunk whether the design is good or not, just for us to practice and then get familiar with the tools. Okay, so that's the whole essence of the series. Right, so I'm not getting into the details of design, just for us to replicate, as I mentioned. Now, so let's look at the elements we have in the design, the UI designs now. Nothing complex. So we have the status bar at the top. Since we're using an iPhone, we have an iPhone status bar right here for iPhone 13. And we have a logo, a demo logo. We have an illustration. We have text. We have a button, two buttons. Okay, so that those are the things we have. So you can see that breaking down that way makes it easier for us to focus on one thing at a time. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have so let's number it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 individual elements in total. Okay, so 7. So let's start with the first one, which is the easiest, the status bar. So all you need to do, you don't need to redesign this status bar. I shared the resources already with the people on the platform, so you can just download the resources and just bring it in. So that's what I'm doing right now. So let's go back to our own frame right now. So this is our frame. Click on your frame, zoom in a bit. Right now, so go to wherever you saved your file. I have one saved here, so I'll be using the status bar black, and then I'll bring that in. I just drag it inside. As you see, very easy. So let me do it again. Go to your file manager, make sure it's opened, drag it inside Figma. Okay, so right now I just drag it into my frame, just adjusting them manually. Okay, so let's say I was way off. I'm not sure where I am. Not as much as I'm sure that as you can see, you see this this is the name right here. Okay, status bar. So you can as much as I'm sure it's under the onboarding screen. I can just use the align tool I mentioned in the first video. Just press align to the center. Then I want to make it to be aligned to the top here. So I'll press just the button. Yeah, align to the top. Okay, very easy. And you can do it manually as well. So just trying to show you multiple options for whatever you want to do. So now we're done with the first part, and that's the status bar. So we have six stuff left, six elements, individual elements left to go. The next one is our logo. Okay, so I want it to be as exact as possible. So logo I have here, I made the proportion to be to 103 in width by 65 in height. Okay, so I use the same proportion. Let's bring in our logo from the same file I mentioned. So I have the logo exported already for you guys. So just download it and bring it in from your file explorer, whichever case may be for you, right? So logo. Okay, I can't find the logo here. So it's just exported it. So let me just bring in this one from here. Okay, duplicate and then bring it in here. Okay, so yeah, so you have the same proportion 103 by 65. Okay, so just copy the same thing I have here, right? 103 by 65. Good. So once we have that, we already have the logo. And the next thing, that's second element done right now. Okay, so just trying to check some dimensions. Okay, now the next thing is the illustration. Okay, so I explained that I sent that as well in the document, so I'm bringing that in right now. We have the name is login create. Bring this in. Okay, so the dimension I use for the illustration is 300 by 300. So I use the same thing just for also have that similarity. So right now it's currently about 500 by 500. So to make it proportional, it's a way to press it individually. Once I press this button, it locks the proportion to be, it constrains the proportion, I mean, to make it to lock it into the aspect ratio. I mean, so if it was something like 100 by 100, and I want to increase it to 200 by 200, once I input one of the values, it automatically increases the other value. So once I have this button clicked, it constrains that proportion to whatever proportion you have the aspect ratio, that kind of thing. Okay, so once I click on this and I press 300 right now, this other one, even though I didn't click on it, it changed by itself. You can see. So that's how it works. It makes it easier for you to to do that. Okay, so now I already have the same size. Let's bring this in manually. So once I set that red line, I'm okay. So the space between this illustration and this logo should be about 35. So once I press Alt on my keyboard, this is the illustration. I'm not pressing it right now. But once I press Alt in proportion to this particular stuff, and I go out of the illustrations, it shows me the dimension of illustration in relation to other elements around the design. So for example, we want to measure the distance between, let me zoom in a bit. I want to measure the distance between the illustration and the logo, and I press Alt on my keyboard, and just Alt alone, and I'm using my mouse to move around. And I move up a bit, I can see the distance between around 44. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, it's around 44 right now. And let me see what we used at the top. I want us to be as similar as possible. So I use 35. So you can just manually move this with your with your keyboard, the arrow key. So we have 44. So let's just move it a bit up a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 35 there. Okay, so right now you're on 38, just 3 more steps. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, good. Okay, so I'm good on that. Now, the next part, so we are done with 3 elements. The next part now we have a text which says let's get you onboarded. So if the font I use is Poppins, you can use any font, okay? But you can the font I use, if you want to exactly what I use Poppins. Okay, so I would type that out right now. So remember for to create a text, you use the the text tool. It's up here. You can just press T on your keyboard as well. So you can press T here, T on your keyboard. So I come here and then okay, so I just press T on my keyboard and I can type right now. So what's the font? Sorry, I made a mistake here already. Yeah, let's get you onboarded in just 30 minutes. So let's do that right here. T on our keyboard, type. Let's get you on board. Okay, so also align this, bring it to the center. About, yeah, so okay, so the size will show 25, and then the style is semi-bold. So the same thing we have here, right? So the font's name is Poppins, font style is semi-bold, and the font size is 25. And then you can leave this as auto bold. I use 35 for this. That's the line at the distance between, let me zoom in a bit, the distance between this line of text at the top and this other line. So there are two lines right now because I pressed enter to break that line. Okay, so if I pressed now we have three lines of text, you understand? So yes, this first line, second line, and third line, those are lines of text. So the distance between those lines is what is indicated here by 35. So if I increase this now to like let's say 50, you see that the line will increase, the space will increase, you can see. So that's what that is for. Okay, so I just leave it at 35, and then I want to just have two lines of text. So and then also, yeah, so I changed the font to be to align to the center because this is what I wanted. So you can, so by default it usually be by it usually be text aligned to the left, but you have to change it to align to the center for this particular design. Okay, so align to the center, you see it under the text panel as well. All right, so now the next aspect, we're already done with 3 aspects. So same thing, the distance between the text here and the illustration is about 35 pixels. So we have 70 right now, so let's move it up a bit. Right now you have 40, just 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 35. Simple. Okay. So of course there's a probably a much straightforward way to this, but this is more simpler for you to wrap your head around for the first start. So the next text reads this: discover all you need with our one-stop app easily and fast. So just copy the text. This is me having to type it again. Okay, so come to down here. The font is still Poppins, but the font style now is regular, and then font size is 16. So just press text right here, type, paste that text, and then I have it. Okay, so, and then I drag to the center. Okay, so the space between the subtext and the header, pressing Alt right now is let's go down 10. So let's have the same dimensions for our own right here. Okay, so right now is about 20. So if I press shift and then up key once, it moves by 10 steps. So if you press your arrow keys on your keyboard, like right now, you can see down, up, okay, it moves by just 1 step, 1 pixel. Okay, but once you press shift and any of the keys, okay, when I press shift right now and I press down, it moves by 10 steps. That's about 10 pixels. Okay, so if I want to move faster, I use shift and then the arrow keys. Okay, whether it's to the left, to the right, that kind of thing, it's still the same thing. But once you press shift before the arrow keys, it moves by 10 steps instead of 1 step. So that's times 10 instead of using just 1 step. Okay, that's just I have to mention that. So I'm already on 10, so I think I'm good right now. So we have already covered one. We've covered the status bar, we've covered the logo, we've covered the illustration, we've covered the header text, we've covered the subtext. Okay, so I think yeah, we have our stuff aligned here. This is the onboarding screen. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. Now the next one is the button now. So let's create one of the buttons right now. So the button we have here is about 300 by 50 pixels. Okay, so it's very easy, don't worry, very easy to do. And then let me check the space, so I don't have to come back here. About 40 from the text. Now let's come back to our frame now. Click on the frame. Good. So now to create the button, you can use a rectangle, but I advise you use a frame too, because it gives you more functionality for you to adjust things whenever you need. In comparison to your rectangle. Okay, for example, you might want to later on add an icon to your button, but incorporating that into a rectangle might be a bit tricky. Okay, so just use a frame. So use a frame, press F on your keyboard, just press the icon that is up here, frame, press that, and then instead of you clicking, you just draw by yourself, just draw out something by yourself. So right now I just draw out, I didn't measure anything. So right now we have 244 by 51, so I want 300 by 50. So I type, just click and then type by myself 300 by 50. Okay, so right now there's no color in it, so you have to color that. So now when you scroll down a bit, you see fill, you see stroke, but right now I just want to start with fill first. So you can see that the fill, there's no color in front of it, but once I click it on the fill, it has a color to it and it's white. But because the background is currently white, you can't see the button. But right now I want it to be a color that you can see. But for now, by default, it just seems to look like red. You can see right now, you can see that button in quotes. It will look like a button very soon, don't worry. So we're trying to achieve something like this, right? Something like this. Okay. Now let me copy the color. Now to copy the color, because I'm using this, but just for the sake of other people that will be following through with the tutorial. Okay, so the color I'm using is 407 BFF. Okay, just type 407 BFF. You can type anything you want. Okay, so for example, let's say I wanted to use black. The default color for black, like complete black, pure black, is 0. Just press 0 and it comes black. You see? Okay, but we're using that blue now. So, but the column is, as I mentioned, 407 BFF. Now, so let me just copy that color code. It's called an X code. Okay, so I come back to our button below, and then I click on it, and then in the place where it reads FF000, I click on it, and then I paste that color code I copied right now. I can just type it also. So let me just paste it, and then you see it becomes the same color. Now you can see that our button here is already the same size, but you can see that this one has rounded edges. We want the same thing for ourselves, right? So now very easy to do, don't worry. Okay, so first thing, let's align this button to the center. Okay, align to the center, horizontal center right now. Good. Now the space between the button and the text is about 41. Okay, almost close. Just move out a bit, just one. And then right hand on 40. Perfect. Now, okay, to the important thing, I want to round off the edges. Okay, very simple. So for you to do that, you just have to adjust the radius. Okay, the corner radius of your frame, right? So at the top here on that frame, you see XY, you see width, you see height, you see rotation, and then you see corner radius. This is what you want to focus on. So the easiest way for you to understand this is this. If you want a perfectly rounded corner radius for all the sides, okay, you do half of your height. Okay, the value of your height you divide by 2. Okay, so right now we have 50 for the height, and I want the corner radius to be perfect. So 50 divided by 2. This I know it's 25, but if I don't want to calculate it, just press 50 /2 and press enter to calculate by itself. Okay, so it gives me 25 by itself. So you can see it's perfectly rounded around the corner, perfectly. Okay, so that's the cheat code for you to do that corner radius perfectly. Once you want it to be perfect, you get. So we already have the button right now. So let's add the text. So in the text we have log into your account. Okay, the text is still poppins, but it's medium right now. And then this font size is 16. So let's have the same thing for our button, for our new button. Right. So clicking on the button now, I come back to the text tool, and then I just type inside it. Just zoom in a bit. Type inside it, and I type log in to. Did log into your account now? I'm not sure. Just type log into your account. Not sure. Okay. So it's because the font is still on center, the types around the center. Just click anywhere. Okay, but don't worry, you can easily adjust that. Now I want it to be aligned to the center of this button, both horizontally and vertically. So remember our shortcut at the top here. Horizontal, vertical. Simple. Our button is ready. Okay. Are we almost done? Not or not? Yes, we're almost done. So the last part is the last button. Very simple also. So instead of us having to create the button from scratch, you can just copy this guy and then use it. Okay. So I'm using Control C on your keyboard, the same way you copy your files on your laptop. Just press Control C on your keyboard and then you duplicate that screen. Okay. So before I do that, let me just label this. Now to label something, you can just come to the layers panel here. You see there, most of them have very weird names. Okay. Especially the frames, the new frames. So the frame for this guy right now is labeled as frame 5. Also, let me label it as button 1. Okay, double click and then you can type whatever you want. So I'll label it as button 1. Good, so I can identify stuff easily. So now to want to duplicate this. So there are different ways, but this easiest way, just use Control C to copy and then you paste, Control V to paste. So Control C and then Control V. I set it up now by itself. We labels it as button 2. It's not, you can't see it, but it's actually on top. Once I drag it, you can see it's there. Okay, so I just drag down and then I need about, I think, 10 pixels or so. Let me check, let me confirm. 10 or 20 pixels. Yeah, 20 pixels. So I come down, yeah, 15, go down like 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're perfect. Good. So now we have difference between these buttons. This one has no fill and a stroke, and then the text change to black, so the same thing. So but the color black I use here is not pure black. It's not, it's I think I mentioned that initially. I just went through, I'm sorry. So the color code is 0B0B0B 0B 3 times. Okay, so that's what I used. So I use the same thing. Okay, so just for us to be cleared on the same thing I'm using right now. So we confirm that here 0B 0B. Okay, looks similar, but they're not the same. Okay, so good. So right now I don't need a few, right? So right now instead of having this few, I can either sort of that effect or just remove it entirely, but just show stuff in case I need it anytime. So clicking on these eyes, it goes off. So I can just click it on anytime I want. Okay. So I don't need it right now. Don't worry. Click on the stroke. Automatically it has a stroke by itself. Okay. So I want the color to be, as we said here, like I said, the color could be used 0B 0B 0B. Enter. Good. Now the stroke with this particular icon stands for the width or the stroke, how thick it's going to be. So I want it to be 2 instead of 1, make it a bit thicker. Okay, if I go to like 10, very thick. I don't want that. Okay, so just 2 is okay for me. For this particular class. This guy is currently white text. So what I did was that right now I'm on the button and I want to click on the text. I know there's a text there. I already know. If I come, you can see there's a text inside. Because it's white, I can see it. Okay. So for me to click the text, I just press Control my keyboard, and then you can see this blue line appears. Without the control, there's nothing. The control, you can see the blue line. After I click on the blue line, sorry, the control, I press just click my mouse and I can select the text. Okay. And then change to 0B 0B 0B. Good. Now the text is labeled as create new account. So let's change that also. So that's weird. Create new account. So Control Enter to finish your text. Just press Control. Let's say Control Enter, and you're done. Okay. So that's to finish your text. So you're practically done with the first screen, and you can see it's almost, if not 100% perfect, probably 99% perfect. Okay. So that's simply the whole step from A to B to finish this guy. Okay. So let's put this on the prototype and see what it looks like. All right. Okay. Just for phone. Let's just see what it looks like on iPhone. Okay. It's loading a bit up faster. Just want to see what it looks like before we move to the next screen. You don't need this part. Just want to show you what it might look like. I usually do this on my phone, but for the sake, you can see this. So this was a practically looks like when you're handling the phone. Okay, looks good. For a starter, it is amazing, amazing, like amazing. Like, look, just click on the button. Yeah, good. Okay, so yeah, so that's for the first screen, and then let's get into the second screen. So I would stop on this video right now, and then get into the design of the second screen in the next video. So see you in the next video.